so big in the fucking corner of my screen. God damn it. Oh well.
Way to go.
I make it too big. I make it big for the newscast, and I forgot to fucking shrink it down for gameplay.
I make it big for the newscast. I didn't know you could change it.
Yeah,
That's cool.
you could change the size, and you could even put like a green screen behind you and make it fucking block everything out but you.
I see.
Yeah, it's got all kinds
That's cool.
of shit. All
That's
right.
cool. You can be a little narcissist right on your PlayStation.
Yeah, it's for everybody else. There's like some when I was like starting to fucking do streams and shit, I was like reading up on it, and it's like you have it's some like ridiculous number that like you put yourself at a serious disadvantage if you don't have a camera of yourself on screen while you're playing. Like people tend to like watch more and stay longer and that sort of shit.
I know. I need to get a camera myself, honestly.
And you can make it like translucent.
Will a PS4 camera work on a PS5?
Nope.
See? So I might as well wait.
Yep.
Because it'll be soon. I'm taking care of, like, once I get the fence and everything settled and everything's good and go, then that's when I'll pull the trigger on the 5.
Yeah.
I'm getting there. We're almost there.
Fucking.
Maybe it'll work out perfectly, because maybe that'll be enough time for Wally to actually get his stuff settled too.
Yeah, we'll see.
It might line up just right.
I
figure I'm probably about 2 months out, I would think. Two and a half months out, if I'm lucky.
I don't even think B is like fucking been on it yet or turned it on yet.
No, he hasn't, and he's refusing. And I mean, so we kind of unofficially started our podcast. You're broadcasting now, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so while we're talking, like on this, I was telling a buddy the other day, like for Easter, I was chilling, and where'd you go? I was chilling over at my cousin's, and I was just telling him about how I was telling him about B and how that was the deal that was going on. He was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool. That's like Louisville." I was like, "Yeah, he won't even play it." It's like he's refusing until we all can play it.
No, man, that's crazy.
So I was like, all right. But he thought that was kind of funny, like funny and cool at the same time. Like, man, y'all, that's serious. That's the cat I was telling you who'd be like a good Warzone fill-in, because he's a straight killer on Battlefield when we used to play.
Oh, nice. That's what's up.
Yeah.
We gotta get back on that, by the way.
Yeah, man. I mean, well, that Battlefield 6, I'm like, hopefully that'll be the Battlefield to get us back, right?
Hopefully. Well, I was just talking about fucking Warzone and shit, but yeah, hopefully Battlefield.
Oh yeah,
6
Warzone in general. Yeah, we need to get back on there. My buddy, like I said, my buddy Jeff, he was like, he said he's down for trios anytime.
Hell yeah, fucking yeah, dude. Battlefield 6. They were saying that that they're like ahead of schedule. So I would imagine that means that they're going to be able to bring out something far more polished than fucking 5 was.
It better be. I tell you what, I'm going to give them one more chance, because they've been a solid game franchise for a long time, and I feel like 5 wasn't terrible, but they really did just release a terribly unpolished game, and I'm sure it plays really well now, but I don't even give a fuck to play it.
Yeah, I mean, it was unpolished, and like, I mean, it is still fun to play. Like, where they really fucked up was Firestorm. Like that was where they shit the bed, because that could have been. I mean, look at Warzone right now.
Firestorm could have been fucking epic, and I feel like Firestorm was a great mode. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't know why they didn't do more to make that a polished format, and it doesn't make sense to me, man, because there were so many times where we should have took it to the end game, we should have won all the fucking marbles, and because of unpolished bullshit, getting stuck on a rock or some stupid
Yeah,
shit.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean?
Yep. Like, I mean, that
It
that
just pisses you off. You're like, I don't even want to play this because I just died because of something stupid.
yeah, and I mean that like people forget that wasn't free. Like that was where they
No,
really fucked up. That was where they made the biggest mistake because if they would have made that shit free, just Firestorm, if they would have just made that free, I mean, they that right there with the microtransactions and shit and battle
God.
passes and all that, dude, like they could have fucking banked. But I mean, they instead didn't take anything because remember, I mean, how many times while we were playing Firestorm did I say, man, I wish they had a way where you could pick up your dude's dog tags like you can in Apex, which is also an EA game. Like it
Right,
baffles me how
right.
fucking Apex existed and they were fucking crushing that that battle
It
royale
made no
area,
sense.
and they
Right,
didn't
for
take
for a game
anything,
that
they
we
didn't
paid for.
learn, yeah, and they didn't learn anything from that free. I mean, that game is free, and they didn't learn anything, and they are in the same ecosystem. EA owns them. I get it, that developers don't necessarily always talk and shit when they're owned by the same company. I get that, but I mean, it's crazy to me that EA wasn't like, hey, uh, why don't you guys look at what our successful battle royale is doing, and take some advice from them? Like, why don't you do that?
Well, think about World at War. How successful World at War was back in the day, right?
Mm-hmm. That
How
was
the
what? That
fuck did
was Call of Duty, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
many moons ago.
Yeah.
And how the fuck did Battlefield miss that mark? Especially when we're talking about the World War II era, where it's not even hard to make it epic.
Right. Like,
I don't
don't
get
get
it,
me
man.
wrong. Like, I feel
They made
like,
it epic, but they were just the glitches were glitches far outshined the trying to immerse you into the battlefield.
yeah, like there was some issues. There were definitely issues. Like, I
Serious issues, yeah.
like the single player didn't get enough love though. Like the single player modes on that game are really good.
They're
The
hard.
stories that they tell
And they're
were
hard,
great.
yeah. Like when you tick them up, they're hard to get
Yeah, they
through
were they
too.
were not easy. They were not easy because I mean, of course, with shooters, of course, I always play on like hard or whatever,
Right,
and they
right.
would yeah they were not easy. So yeah, I did like those, and but the multiplayer. I mean, I still love domination. I still loved a lot of the maps that were in that game. Like there's a couple of maps on that game that I still like want to play. Um, and it's just we got that itch. Like battle royale was the itch, and they
Right.
did not scratch it at all.
Yeah,
They like
and
they
that's
almost
what's
made it
become the
worse.
main theme. Right. They did. They did. Honestly, they did, man. And they had potential. I mean, like I like the vehicle aspect. Like
Yeah,
again, they just fucked up. They just I don't know, they just with the unclean the unclean bullshit of the game, and just
yeah,
like when you got Apex, I'm sorry, Apex, that's a beautifully clean game.
yeah.
It
It
really
runs. It's
is.
so smooth. It runs smooth. It's polished. When you die, the only way that you can be pissed is if your internet sucks and the guy you're going against had really good internet.
Dude, I've never felt like when
Like
I died in Apex, I died because the game fucked me. I feel
right.
like most of the time when I've died in Apex, I died straight up, fair and square.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I didn't get the drop on the dude, or I just didn't win the gunfight because they got that shot on me. So
Right.
and that's the game I want to play. I want to play the games that do make you feel like at the end of the day that when you lose, you lost justifiably. You know what I mean?
Right.
You
Right.
didn't get a bogus. Oh, I got stuck on a fucking piece of grass.
Right. Right. I mean, it's like sports and shit when like they bring replay and stuff like
Yes,
like just
right,
just fucking we don't care. Just get it fucking right. Just get it right.
right, right.
And the thing that's frustrating, just going off subject, that is about sports and replays, is that they'll fucking replay a shit and they'll still get it wrong.
Yeah,
And then
they will sometimes.
and there's too many times where like a play is like obvious. It's like okay, they made the wrong call or they made the right call or whatever, and it's obvious, and it still takes 2-3 minutes for them to come back from the sidelines, blah 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 blah. Like guys, just fucking look at it quick. It's confirm or confirm one way or the other and fucking go. Like what is this shit? We're watching it 8 times. Our heads in a booth and we're under a hood and fucking putting headphones on. Like just and why is the TV 8 inches that they're watching it on? Like it's like a fucking old CRT TV. Like it's this fucking 4x3 box. Like what are we doing?
It's like they're rewatching. They're like rewatching the play in analog on a black and white monitor.
Yeah, like seriously, like get a. I mean, Jesus Christ, get a fucking iPad or something for Christ's sake. Like what the fuck are we doing?
That's what it feels like anyway.
I mean, it is. It's horrible. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it just
that's fucking funny. Oh man,
it just baffles me how this is how we're gonna do it. We're a fucking multi-million-dollar fucking league, and this is how we're handling things with a fucking tiny ass TV on a fucking desk.
Hell yeah, man. You know, progress. So yeah, dude. Yeah, so I mean, so how about that? How about Grandpa? How about Grandpa Joe? We'll just get right into
it. Speaking of progress, this fucking, I mean,
that escalated quickly.
It just, you know, it just.
Somehow I feel like a criminal now. I feel like the police can kick in my door at any moment. Apparently, you know,
we're dangerous to society.
Well, old Grandpa Joe thinks that my PTSD as a vet is a dangerous thing, and that I should be subjected to red flag laws. And I'm like, what the fuck,
dude? That's some of the most dangerous shit.
I got PTSD. Like that doesn't make me a dangerous individual. It just means I got PTSD. Like what the fuck? Like so now it's okay for the police to kick in my door? Well. I mean, I got a newsflash for you. If somebody kicks in my door in the middle of the night or anytime, I'm probably going to, you know, think that they're an intruder.
Yeah, they're going to catch bullets.
You know? Yeah. I mean, it's just kind of simple concept. Like, that no-knock warrant. It's amazing to me, dude, that we just got through a whole year of burning down buildings and protesting over no-knock warrants and unlawful use of force by police and government, right? Right, overreach of government, right?
That's right.
And now we want to just take guns away from citizens, and I don't understand it, dude. I really don't, because I hear the argument is, Grandpa Joe made the argument that, you know, gun violence in this country is an epidemic. Well, I beg to differ. Because if you look at the statistics, if you've actually done the fucking research, which aggravates the fuck out of me, is nobody does
anymore. They just like to be told what to think.
Well, I had a friend. I got a friend. I love him. Great friend. And I'm not going to name names, but great friend. You know, smart dude, super smart dude. But he is a leftist, and I shouldn't say like a hardcore liberal. He's not like part of the super ultra woke crowd, but he's left. You know, he's left leaning of center. Right. And because of that. You know, old Grandpa Joe gets up there and says what he says, and then my buddy's like, well, show me the statistics that support what you say. And I'm like, well, dude, it's right here. I can show you for fucking days. I got mountains of information that shows that our society is safer today than it was in 1993.
Right.
Just straight up, bro. Yeah. I'm not even joking. I'm not joking. Like literally, I got literal statistical fact from NPR of all places. Okay, you know that's a center-leaning left news outlet. And so if you can go to npr.org and fucking look up information yourself and find out that, look, dude, gun violence per capita, when you're talking about the amount of guns that are in our society versus how many people die from gun violence per se.
Right.
You know, and the unfortunate part about gun violence, you know what's counted into that? Suicides.
Suicides. Police shootings.
things like that, right? And
Yeah.
so it skewers, it really fucking manipulates the lens of
Oh,
what,
of
how many
course.
people, you know what I mean, what's really going on.
Well,
And
that's
so
their
in
favorite
reality,
thing.
I'm not, don't get me wrong, man. I don't want people to get shot by guns. I don't want some madman to walk in with an AR-15 and shoot
Right.
up a mall. I
Right.
don't want that. That's bullshit. But do I think that my rights should be taken away because of a mental health crisis in our country? If we want to talk about an epidemic,
I mean,
let's talk about the mental health epidemic, not the
right.
gun epidemic. There's
And
not a gun epidemic. There's a crazy motherfucker epidemic. That's what's going on here.
that's just the same way that, there's no reason why we should be listening to fucking 20,000 people bitching and moaning on Twitter
No,
and thinking that that's important and changing things for the whole of society when fucking 20 to 100,000 people, oh boo hoo, are heartbroken over fucking some dumb shit on Twitter. Like, and that's what is kind of ridiculous, is that right now, people aren't listening to the majority. They're listening to the loudest minority,
it's
and
true.
that's what people are trying to do now, is just scream like fucking children as loud as they
Yeah,
possibly can, because
that's pretty
that's
much
what's
it.
winning
And
the argument right now.
right. And so, the continued conversation, with my buddy, man, it's like I respect him a lot, and because he is just he's a smart guy. Like I have mad respect for my friends. I have a diverse group of friends because I like to be,
We've all got
well
blind
versed
spots.
in.
We've all got
Yeah,
blind spots.
we all got, but I try to have, I try to have a unique group of friends and not just be, typecasted.
Yeah,
But
of course,
anyway,
of course.
right. But with my friend, so it's like I presented the evidence and I just said, hey man, I get it. I was like, but we've reached this point in society where I'm just tired of where a president, any president, whether it be Trump or Biden, get up and say some shit out the side of their face, and everybody just gobbles it up because
Right.
it's your guy.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
without any retort whatsoever to,
And that's like
is
one of
there
the biggest
is there a
problems right now.
conversation? Is there a rebuttal? Is there anybody asking questions of any kind to say, is this even legitimate? No. It's just, oh, he said it? Has to be true. Meanwhile, the guy is reading off a teleprompter from somebody who wrote that shit. So basically, you're not even reading his real opinion. You're reading
Something that
somebody
was
else's
wrote for
opinion.
him. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
And like, not only that, but like that's like that whole idea, like, is one of the biggest problems in society right now, is that whatever side you're on, you're not allowed to question your own side.
Right.
You're not
Like,
allowed to. You're not allowed
look
to.
up some
You are.
fucking
You
facts,
must
man,
be.
before you
You
start
must be an
debating
ally.
shit.
You must be an ally, and you must always vehemently agree and support whatever side you're a part of. Like, that's the main problem, is that you can never chastise your own people, because then you're viewed as a traitor, instead of just being a
Right.
critical thinker and being like,
Dude.
no, like, everybody makes
Dude.
mistakes, and now I think we're making a mistake and we need to correct it, instead of just
You're-
saying, yay, my side made a
Vega,
decision. Like, what the fuck is
you're
happening?
nailing it. That's what I'm saying, man. You're nailing it, and it kills me because I look around and I go, why do I believe that there are a lot of sensible people in society, but then this stuff happens, and I go, why aren't people that sensible in society? Like, why is it so hard to disconnect yourself from a political ideology and just look at it from a very straight up, non-biased, I'm not going to support this guy just because he's red or blue, a Democrat
Right.
or Republican. It's like gang mentality, man. It's like,
Yeah. Yep.
what is up with that? It's weird, and we've talked about this, man. But what the fuck is up with? Is
I mean,
it
I think
not
it's-
weird to
I think
you
it's
as
a
a
lot of
person that you're
factors.
so committed that you're willing to back up an individual, even when they are fucking wrong?
Yeah. Yeah. I think
It's weird.
I think it's a lot of factors. I think that part of it is people don't like to be wrong.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
for sure.
you know, personally, because I am often a realist, borderline pessimist, I enjoy being wrong, because usually what I think is going to happen is usually pretty bad. So, so I kind of like being wrong. But
That's funny.
I do think that's part of it. I also think that it's just, people I think it's there's a certain freedom and a certain necessity to the not give a fuck mentality, to where you cannot give a fuck about what people in even in your circle think about what you're going to say or what your opinions are. And I think that a lot of people walk on eggshells figuratively all the time, checking themselves and checking what they say out of fear of being persecuted. I think it's
Oh, for
social
sure.
pressure as much as
Yeah,
it is,
we talked about that last time, so
yeah,
for
like
sure.
I mean, it just I think it's a combination of factors, and plus when you see other people doing it, you want to be part of a group, you want to be accepted, like it's tribalism as well, like
Okay,
it just
so on this note, let me ask you this question. Okay, that's all fair and good. But the issue I'm having here is that people, it's not even about being cool anymore. I'm like, there are respectable people that I look at and go, these people are intelligent individuals, and for some reason they're not checking the facts of things. They're not looking to see if this is truly reality, other than just buying into their own confirmation bias of the situation right at that moment. It feels right, so I'm going with it. And
right.
this is disturbing me, right? So this is where I'm concerned. Like, how do we get past that? How do we fix that shit? How I'm like, I just want my friends, like the people I care about, humanity as a whole, to like be like, how do we get people to be self-aware of this this fucking shit of like
Mushrooms.
not questioning anything? You know what I mean? Like,
Mushrooms.
why doesn't yeah, right, we need to get everybody fucking,
Seriously.
we got to take
Seriously.
everybody to the island. We're going to take
Everybody's
them
got
to
to
the
take
island.
just
We're gonna go to the island and
we're
get
gonna
just
feed
totally
everybody
fucking hammered.
an eighth of mushrooms. We're just gonna give everybody an eighth of mushrooms. Politicians get a little bit more.
Dude, what kind of work,
And
man? Hey, wait a minute, wait a minute. You're onto something here. Think about what you're saying here, dude. The implications are huge. If we could
could
realistically
you
do
imagine?
something like
Could you imagine?
that,
Could you imagine, dude? Like
it'd be
just the
wild.
ability to open people's eyes and for them to just be able. I mean that is
Just to get people to be human to one another,
it is if nothing else, mushrooms are cause ruthless introspection.
right?
And
That's legit.
and oftentimes people perceive a bad trip as just, oh, I just had a bad trip. Well, maybe like the mushrooms were telling you that something that you didn't want to hear, or making you
Yeah,
feel something that you didn't want to feel. Like maybe that, like, cause
true story, man.
I've had quote unquote bad trips, but
I have too.
I never classified it as that. I just was thinking like, damn, like that was rough. That
Right.
was you
Right,
know what I mean?
right.
It was like,
I'm like,
it
I'm
showed
glad
me
that fucking 10 hours is over now.
yeah, like but it showed me like really important things that I needed to change, things that I was doing wrong, and things that even like I consciously knew but tended to just ignore. Like
Right.
it makes you, it doesn't let you just ignore shit. It's just like, hey, you want to look the other way, well, I'm gonna put it over there too. Like,
So like so speaking on what you're saying right now, like we're getting off subject. We'll come back to this Papa Joe subject here in a second, but speaking on what you're talking about, I posed a question this week in a group called Question of the Day. And I posed a question which, us being kind of mind expanding individuals, you know, I try to stay very neutral in everything and see the broader picture of all things. Whether I'm right or wrong, I try to be reflective and look back and go, damn, I was an idiot for thinking that way. And that's how you learn as a person, right? But anyway,
sure.
going back to what I was saying, is like, so I posed a question talking about what you're talking about right now. You take those shrooms, right, and it gives you a level of introspection that you can deny it all you want to, but the truth really comes pouring through when you're in those levels of,
Yeah.
of consciousness. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Hmm.
And you can deny it all you want to, but your emotional self and your true self really starts to become the shining through self, not that
Hmm.
superficial bullshit
Hmm.
individual. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And so
And the less
the
of those
question,
jive, the worse your trip is.
right? So now the pose the question, right? Now imagine if I could pose this question to you, to the group in the room, while we're all fucking in this state. The question was, do you believe an individual who works 40 hours a week, shows up to work every day, never misses a day, they're like clockwork, works their ass off 40 hours a week, regardless of skill, do you believe they deserve to make a living wage, which is just enough, just a wage to pay their bills, like a basic wage. There is a standard of living, what is considered a livable wage. You can actually look it up. So when people say, "What is a living wage?" Well, look this shit up. I ain't got time to fucking tell you all the shit. You got to find out for yourself,
I know, I
motherfuckers.
can't stand
So
that.
yeah, right. So look it up. Look up what a
Like, you
fucking
have the
livable wage
internet
is. I get
at your
tired of having to
fingertips.
drag
Yeah.
people by the fucking nose and go, "This is what a fucking livable wage is, asshole." So anyway, going back to the kumbaya, let's do some shrooms and hugs. So it's like I say, like, look, if a person's getting up every day and they work 40 hours a fucking week and they're doing the best they can as a person, should we discriminate because they don't have a skill? We
I
should we
mean,
should say, oh well, you don't have a skill, so you don't deserve to live. But hey, thanks for the 40 hours you gave me. Now go work your second job to still be able to live. You
like
see what I'm getting at?
I think that people have wrongfully so like thought of they look at some jobs as less. Whereas,
Right.
like, you think of, like, oh, go flip some burgers. Like, bro, why don't you go back there and keep up with a fucking dinner rush when you've got 40 Whoppers you gotta make and
I'm just saying.
18,000 fries? Like, it
Have you
just,
ever sat at the line at like what's the popular place up there where you live?
I mean, any fast food, I've been in, like, a long line at one
You got
point or
Zaxby's
another.
up
Like,
there?
no, I wish.
Dude, Zaxby's. So, for instance, like you're talking about Zaxby's. That motherfucking line goes around that fucking building almost twice. And those
Right.
motherfuckers roll out them chicken fingers faster than anybody I know. I'm just saying, you know what I mean?
Like,
And so that's what you're
and
getting at.
and not only that, but not only do you have to be fast and shit, but you got to deal with stress. Like, you got to deal with, like, people
Asshole
just be,
customers.
yeah, like, there's things that
Because they get
that
so pissed because they got a Diet Coke instead of a Dr. Pepper.
right, like, and so, people, look down upon that job as if it's like, some job for, a no skill having person, failing to realize that it actually takes a decent amount of certain skills that a lot of people
Right.
don't have, or
Right.
don't have the patience to
Right.
deal with. Like, I could
What
never
what
work
is
fast food.
what
I could never
you know
work
so
fast food.
so so skill, so we could almost say that the idea of skill is all perception based, right? Skill is subjective, it's relative because
I
everything takes a level of skill.
I think skill is objective as
Right.
far as, like, if
Or
you're
objective,
good
right?
at
Everything
something,
has a level of
yes.
skill.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it's just simply people have, through stereotype
Yep.
or experience or whatever, have decided that certain jobs don't require skill.
So would it be like me saying to you, Vega, say you came down and you interviewed with me, and I was the boss man, right? And I
Hmm.
said, "Hey, man, so what is your skills?" And that would be essentially the equation to what your life is worth.
Yeah, to
What
them,
are your
yeah.
skills?
Yeah. What are
How
you
I mean, how would you perceive that? I know I'm implanting that to you right now, but I'm just saying that's my vision of it. Is that how you perceive it, or is it different? I mean, because when
what?
I think about it, when we're talking about from a very human standpoint, not a business standpoint, I
No,
get,
I
I,
look
I
at it
understand business,
I
but
look at it that
we're all
way.
human beings first, motherfuckers. So you're just gonna look
Yeah.
at a person and go, you're only worth as a human being. You're only worth this, so fuck your family. And I know you're working hard here, but I don't really care. I'm gonna live 200 times better than you.
No, I look at it. I've never looked at it that way. Um, I've always looked at it from a business type of way, a very, like, look, you know, uh, in this area, this person with this skill makes this amount of money. So I expect this amount of money. And you have to know your worth. Like that is
For sure.
entirely up to the person, you know,
I,
and
w-
it's
I totally
entirely
agree with that.
entirely up to the person whether or not to take a bad pay for what they're doing. Whether they're in a bad situation and it's all they got, that sucks and it's unfortunate. But maybe that's also could be a motivator to say, let me start my own thing, or do a skill that I've always wanted to do, but
Right.
now I'm stuck at this job, so I'm gonna learn this on the side or whatever, and maybe try
Right.
to do
Right.
that that way. Like
So
dude,
so
I
you think so you think in those situations, those things aren't necessarily bad. They could be motivators for an individual to achieve greater.
sure, and I understand that that some people have it a lot easier than others. Um, Whether that's, I mean, look, like you and I got lucky as fuck that we got born on the right patch of dirt. So I mean,
For sure.
it's all
For
kind
sure,
of luck
dude.
of the draw as far as and I absolutely empathize and understand people that have a harder time. And I do kind of grade on a curve, or I do at least understand on a curve to where somebody that has a lot of opportunities and doesn't take them or doesn't take advantage of them, you know, it just everybody's different, man. Because
For sure.
that person could have been coddled their whole life as a kid. Maybe their parents were rich, and that's why they have all these opportunities. But at the same time, their parents were rich, so they never had to work for anything.
So
And maybe
so
they
the
were handcuffed and they were
right.
left with a crutch that way, to where it's made them less able to handle life in that way. And you
Well, I
know
mean, we're kind of looking at that's what we got with this woke society is a bunch of people who can't handle the reality of things and
yeah,
they want
and
the
I mean
world to be this perfect place and it's like I get it guys and then they act like oh we don't want all like we all don't want the same fucking shit, you know what
right,
I mean,
right,
like
right,
yeah we
right.
all want it but we got to be realists too, you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Like
I feel
and
you. I mean, that's where I'm at with this. I guess, but I guess what I was posing to people is that if we were all taking shrooms, though, right? Going back to
oh
that
yeah,
whole hey, put everybody in a room, and I looked at you while we're all taking shrooms, and I say, so you'd be okay with saying a man's life's worth $12.50 an hour, and you know and damn good and well that ain't enough to support him, and he's coming to work every day, or she's coming to work every day, and they're working her ass off, and you're just going to be okay with that, right? When you're on shrooms, you'd be like, fuck that. That's bullshit.
I
That's the
mean,
weird part about that, right?
I don't know. It's kind
I
of on
mean,
that
because
person
you're
to.
more of a human, you're more of a open to like humanity type person.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel
Like
like there's
it's like it's
responsibility
not.
both ways. I feel like there's
Okay,
responsibility both ways to where
so
yes,
I got a perfect. Okay, hang on, go ahead. I got a perfect analogy for when I went to the
okay.
island, and you'll laugh when I tell you this story.
Okay. Like cuz I feel like it's a responsibility both ways, to where it is partially on the person offering only 12.50 for that job.
Right,
But at the same time, maybe, other workers in that area doing that same job are only getting paid 10.50. So maybe he's doing the guy a favor. Or it's also on that guy that's trying to get the job to be like, okay, is this what I'm willing to accept to do work? Like I've
right,
always been under, like, no matter what job I've had, and I've kept jobs for a very long time. It's not like I've been to job and I can't get a job or whatever. Like I've had really good jobs for a very long time, but I've always looked at it as like, look, if something is happening in my life that's more important than this place, I'm leaving. Like I'm going to take care of that, and it's not of whether of, hey, can I have this day off? It's, I'm telling you I'm going to not be here as a courtesy so you can prepare and have somebody else there, because I'm not going to be there. That's the way I've
right,
always looked at it, because like, look, this job, you guys will fire me if you know if I do a few things wrong. you know Whereas things that are going on in my life that are more important than that are more important than that, like, period. And I'm not going to just be like, oh, I can't be there because my job, like, no, like the things have to be mutually understanding. And if I'm working in a place that doesn't understand that, then I don't need to be there to begin with. Like, then I'm gonna go
Right.
somewhere else. Like, and I am lucky enough, and I understand that, to have the freedom to be able to do that. Some people
Right. Right.
don't, and I understand that's really shitty and shit. I just, you know, yes, there does need to be ways to help people more, um, in their search for a good job, a good paying job, a place that they're happy to be. Um, but at the same time, I also feel like some people still need to, it is also on you to, go out and search for that better job, or whatever the skill is that is required. Um, get work towards it. You know what I mean? Like, uh, it's I feel like there's blame either way, and it's just everything's situational, and people have to just be genuine and understanding. And if there's a genuine understanding there, then if somebody has a problem because they're not getting paid enough or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like it's a personal thing for an individual in every individual situation,
For sure. And
especially because I
that's
live
where the tough situation lies, man. Because it really isn't as simple of an answer.
right.
You
And
know,
I
the
have to
answer
I have to
for
preface
me,
this.
I
Hold
just
on,
look
let
at it
me
like.
let
Go
me
ahead.
just say this real quick. I have to preface this by saying that I live in like an area where it's very, very, it's like one of the cheapest places to live in the United States. So I have to preface that by also saying that, like, where I live, things are way cheaper than a lot of places, especially when you're in like a bigger city. Like, shit there is a lot more expensive than what I'm
Yeah.
paying. So, like,
Yeah.
I do have that advantage of where I live, that things are pretty cheap here.
Yeah, and see that's the other part, man. Is like you're talking about where you live versus where the city, and things are so much different. And it's like, okay, and I understand people have choices, but choices are also made through circumstance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Some people, are like I said earlier, like, we were lucky we got born on the right patch of dirt, you know.
Right.
So I
And
mean,
unfortunately,
sometimes it
circumstance plays into a lot of why people stay or make the decisions that they do. Shit, you think I
right.
wanted to clean windows for 8 years?
Yeah,
Fuck
word.
no.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm
I know it.
saying?
I know it.
But it was a situation that I was in, and I didn't have. My wife didn't have she didn't have. We only had one vehicle, and it was like we both were working there, and it was like one of them situations where like, fuck, what am I going to do? Even if she wanted to get another job, how are we going to do this? And it was just it was a lot going on. I'm not saying it couldn't have been done, but it's not. You factor in all those things, right? And
Right.
and people have extraordinary situations that go on in their life every day, and it's like, damn, dude, and I guess with that guy, it's like with him, he talked about all the time how, oh shit, dude, I could fucking take care of my family and my 3 kids and my wife who has a professor job and all this shit
Oh, well.
with just my income from cleaning windows. And he didn't have a brick and mortar business. He worked straight out of his house, so he had no real
Right.
overhead.
Right.
So the reasoning for not being able to pay more and and us barely being able to survive was weak as fuck. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
was just
Yeah.
for me. It's an excuse, and I'm not saying all. I'm just saying for a lot of motherfuckers out there, that is an excuse for a person who owns a company, or for a person who's wealthy. That's an excuse for a person to not pay more money so that they
That's true.
can live 200 times better than their employees.
Yeah,
When you're
word.
living 200 times better than your employees, I'm not saying yes, we live in capitalism. I get it. But you know why people scream for communism or socialism? Is because we don't
Because they
police
see,
ourselves.
yeah, because they see fucking, what was the who was the company? What was the company? It was recently too, dude. Like, they had just, I think it was Sony actually. I think it was Sony. Uh, I don't know for sure if it was Sony, so I don't want to like put bad juju on it
Right,
if that
right,
ain't true. But it was some
right.
company. It was some company recently, and they had just like cut a bunch of shit. Like, that's why I thought it was Sony for a second, because they had just like basically cut out all of Sony Japan and shit, except for like one studio or whatever. But it might not have been them,
Wow.
but I think it was, but I can't
Right.
remember. Anyway, it was some company, some large company. They had cut a bunch of fucking jobs, and then fucking the COO or CEO or whatever the fuck got like some massive, I think it was like a $300 million like bonus, or maybe it was a
Right.
$30 million. It was like some
Right.
insane bonus, and it was like one
Right.
of those
See,
things where it's like, see, that's where I feel you. I feel
how
you. I
many
do
people's
feel
salaries
that.
could have been paid on that? How many people could have
Exactly.
lived, had a
Exactly.
better quality
I
of
do
life
I
off
do
of
feel
that? You know
that.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. I definitely do feel that there are a lot of companies and a lot of places
When
that
people
don't.
say like, oh, well, he's the janitor. Well, guess what? That big company is paying that janitor to keep their office clean, right? But he
Right.
gets that $300 million bonus. You're telling me you couldn't pass a little bit of
Yeah,
that
exactly.
bonus down to
Exactly.
the janitor so he can make a living wage, even
Right,
though he's
right,
a
right.
janitor? You get what
Right.
I'm saying?
Right,
It
right,
doesn't
right.
make sense to me.
Like
It's like
that's I feel
that's
that. I feel
asinine.
that. I feel that. Like you're right. You're right for sure. Like I feel that like and that's the
Is your
thing
office
too.
fucking clean every day you pull up in that bitch?
And
Oh, it
that's
is? Okay, well, you say, because somebody said to me this, says somebody tried to justify, or not justify, but we had the conversation, and I always appreciate good conversation, but somebody tried to say to me, well, that job's not of value. And I said, how's it not of value? Is somebody not paying for that? Is money not being exchanged for that service?
right.
So the job does have value. Now,
Oh,
the
for sure.
company or the property management, whatever, is paying for that service. At the end of the day, the people who are living in those buildings or renting those buildings, leasing those buildings, are making all that money. Well, damn, they sure as fuck could pay a little bit more. So the guy who keeps that shit spick and span, or the woman who keeps that spick and span, fucking don't have to work two jobs.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that
Yeah, for
concept, right?
sure.
The
For
reason
sure.
people are screaming for socialism is because we got too many greedy motherfuckers not wanting to
Yeah.
pass down the wealth.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I'm trust me, I love capitalism.
Yeah.
I love the idea that innovation pushes, or the fact that anybody can push innovation. You know what I mean? That
Right.
anybody with an idea can push innovation in our society, because capitalism really is what keeps us fresh, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
somebody with a good idea can come up, show up, and go bam, right, and be a millionaire overnight. But the truth is, if we look at the numbers statistically, the haves have grown exponentially, especially the top 1%, while the
Oh,
other
especially now.
99% have
Especially right
lost.
now. Especially right
Right.
now, dude.
And so at what point where we're not accounting, so we want to talk about how, oh well, they don't deserve this and all that, and if they want that, and everybody wants to be compensated for inflation and all this, right? But what about the motherfucking average worker that hasn't been compensated for inflation? What about the
Yeah.
minimum wage
Yeah.
that hasn't been
Yeah.
compensated for
Yeah.
for inflation?
Yeah, no
It's
doubt.
bullshit, and it's a bullshit to tell a human being that you don't deserve to live because you didn't get a skill or go to college.
Right.
Think about that, man.
Yeah.
From a
Yeah, no
human
doubt.
standpoint, to tell a human being that you don't deserve to live, that you should work two, maybe three jobs, because you don't have a skill and you didn't go to college. Too bad, dude. What the
You know
fuck,
what?
man?
You know what?
Are we that? Or is that who we are? Is
You know
that
what?
the
I'm
America
fucking
that we want to be
see
represented as?
see this right here is why we had these fucking conversations, cuz right now I'm like easing my stance on what I had said earlier, cuz I mean you're right. You're absolutely right. And I kind of forgot about that. Like, yeah, you're absolutely right. Like there's way too much money being at the top. Like the cost of a house now, and with inflation and all this other shit, like the way things were is like so different. It just, you're right for sure. Like
It's
the
tough,
shit
right? It's
has
tough. It's like,
the
do I think every company can afford to pay their employees more? No, because there are companies out here just getting by. But I also go, you know what? I see a lot of people suffering, and I see other people just prospering big time.
hmm
And and it's like, we can sit here and say it ain't happening, but it is. And, and it's like, it's sad. So the reason people scream for socialism is because we're not willing to do the things that we know we should be doing.
Right.
But we want to make excuses. We want to live, we got men and women who want to live 200 times better than their employees. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of being like, it's okay to live better than your employees.
They need
but when
another
you're living
vacation
200
house,
fucking
man.
times than your employees,
Church.
come on, man.
Church, but I mean, what is the CEO gonna do if he doesn't get another vacation house, dude?
Right.
Like,
What if he doesn't get another car or another, like you said, another vacation house
dude,
and another yacht?
He needs
Gosh.
another vacation house. He's got a yacht. He needs somewhere to park it.
Right, man. And I know people will say, well, I know my hard right friends would be like, well, if our business and this business is not. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Motherfuckers are making money hand over fist, and the money doesn't trickle down like it should. It doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Because especially in this country, all right, when you have 1% controlling 99% of the fucking wealth,
I know, right?
does that make any fucking sense to anybody? I'm sorry, you have 1% controlling 90% of the wealth in this country. Tell me how that makes sense again.
I mean,
and then I'm not even being woke. Let's take one step back. If you had, I'm going to go deep on you now. We're going to go even deeper, right? So because I'm not being woke. I'm just being real. This is the real, right? The real is, and if you want to go even further back, right? So if 1% controls 90% of the wealth, who's that 1%? And did that 1% have family that had slaves? Because if they did, then them slaves tilled that fucking land that they prosper on now.
Right. Right, and then
let's get real about it.
And think about
let's get real about it, right?
And think about this, like
just being real.
You think like we've seen, like just remember the GameStop shit? Yeah. How like GameStop was like taking over and shit. All right, so think about this. We saw how money can manipulate the market.
Oh, easy.
So you think that the people that have the 90-some% of all the money, and it's only a few of them, you think that they ain't got that they haven't manipulated the market in their favor with the money that they have? Like, it's funny to think about that. Like how these motherfuckers. There's another one.
Oh, he got me. That's all right,
shit.
But keep going.
It's funny how funny how they fucking think that, like.
Right. So that's why I'm just trying to, I'm trying to be more mind expanding than I've ever been, because in this time of day and age, like, to think that the right's got it figured out or left's got it figured out ain't neither. I mean, I don't even believe in the fucking political line bullshit anymore. It's just so stupid. It's like that's what makes us fucking like stupid ass apes, that we're still separating ourselves based on fucking, I'm a Democrat or a Republican. You're a fucking idiot. How about that? I don't give a fuck. It's just reached that point, because I used to be okay with politics. I was okay with politics until it started destroying our country. Politics has become so divisive that it's destroying us. And instead of the political elite trying to bring us closer together, they're not doing anything to bring us closer together. They're just doing more of the pander and fucking separate us further.
Oh, that's bullshit.
So I've reached a point where I'm just over it. Like, I'm calling it like I see it. And it's like, we're not going to solve our problems through government. The only way we're going to solve our problems is us as human beings have these kind of conversations that are real as fuck.
Right.
Seriously. And come up with how we gonna fix this shit. Like, fuck. Oh damn. Fuck. Letting the government regulate everything. That's the problem. Now, do you want to fucking, the government's out of control. Do you want the government coming in and regulating every fucking thing? Look, us as human beings need to take care of each other, and if we want to safeguard ourselves from socialism and terrible fucking governmental practices, and the best thing we can do as a society is lift each other up. Don't wait for government to go, hey, since you guys have had like 250 fucking years to treat each other better, now we're going to step in. You see how, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like that. Everybody's like, oh, I don't want the government to get involved. Well, motherfuckers, y'all had 250 years to get the, to rise up other people, and all I see is one group of people getting richer while the other group of people struggling. Let's fix the problem.
I don't know if we ever will.
Oh, yeah, I don't know if we ever will, but I'm just saying that's where I'm at, and I'm just like, it just aggravates me that people act like it's so nonchalant about human beings. You know what I mean? Like, do you not remember what it's like to be a human being that basically struggled to keep the lights on? And if you have never been in that position, then great. Count yourself lucky. Count your blessings that you've never had to be in that position. But to cast judgment on somebody because their job's a janitor, or they flip a burger and say, well, they should get a skill. Go fuck yourself, man. What is it to be human? Like, can we be human beings? Can we actually give a shit about one another? If you want us to not murder each other by millions like we have in the past because of whatever stupid ideologies, the best thing we can do is stop with this bullshit, oh, you don't deserve to live because I got a skill and I went to college shit. Like, get the fuck out of here. You want people to eat each other? That's what will make people eat each other. Straight up. I'm serious. It's straight up. That's why I'm trying to get across to people. It's like, how do you not understand the simpleness of this? It's not even a hard concept to understand that if people suffer enough, they will lash out.
Oh, yeah.
If people see disparity enough, they will burn down this whole motherfucker and laugh when they do it.
Yep.
Okay?
That's what they want.
You better snap. I guess that's what I'm trying to get across. People's like, I don't give a fuck what your politics are. Wake up to that. That's what's going to happen. I don't give a shit what your politics are.
Right.
That's the nature of the beast. Have you ever seen all slaves eventually revolt and kill their masters? Mm-hmm. What do you think modern day currency and modern day life really is? It's nothing more than a control mechanism. That's all it is. It's funny. Maybe one day we'll wake up as a people, right?
I doubt it.
But for now, we'll just bitch about whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, because, that really matters. The things that matter. Yeah, but yeah, dude. So that's why I was like, man, we do shrooms. You imagine telling somebody we're all tripping nuts, and it's like, man, a human being shouldn't make more money than this an hour if they flip burgers, even if they work their ass off every day and they're there working their ass off. Like, you imagine telling a bunch of tripping people some shit like that? They will look at you like you're the most vile, evil, devilish person ever to exist. That's how I look at it. Like, when you're tripping, your true self's like, man, love everybody. Like my friend said to me, we were like going to the island. That's what we call it, going to the island. We're going to the island, and we had like 2 cups of water sitting on the counter, right? 2 cups of water, and in the middle of us tripping, we go to reach for the water, and I go, oh man, I'm sorry. I think this is your cup. And my friend looks at me and he goes, oh, no, dude, it's cool. It's everyone's water. Pretty fucking simple, right?
There it is.
There it is, man. And that shit, like, as simple of a statement that it was immensely profound in that moment. No bullshit. And me and my friend, for a moment, like, had this, like, total trip moment, like, no shit. It's just everybody's water. It's not my water. It's not your fucking water. It's everybody's water. Who gives a fuck? Like, let's take care of each other kind of concept. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's where I'm at, man. And I guess that's why that whole, I told you I was going to tell you a story that led back to the tripping, and that was it. So that's where I get back. It's like, so when it comes to working, it's like, damn, dude, can we pass the love around a little bit, because there are some massive disparities in society, and we're talking about we're supposed to be a first world country, but yet we got people eating out of trash cans and shit. We got children going hungry every night. That don't make no fucking sense to me. It really don't. I'm trying to... Are you over there fighting these dudes?
Yep.
Okay. I'm trying to get back over to you.
They're on the bridges right now.
I don't know how far you are. I'm running. Oh, he's on. Oh, there he is, right there. Oh, oh, he got me. He got me, Bobby. He got me. But yeah, so here's my 2 cents for today. Fuck it.
So on another subject, I think, how the fuck is he clipping me from that far away with that rifle? What the hell was that? Oh, I think, I was listening to a fucking Rogan podcast, and they were talking about, fucking supercomputers and fucking quantum fucking mechanics and shit like that. And the way that they were describing it, like these fucking supercomputers that we're creating, we're like creating the brains of the AI that are like gonna fucking take us over.
Yeah, I'm sure. Hell, was it you that? No, my buddy posted on today about how fucking Elon Musk has all the shit to produce a
Oh,
Jurassic
I
Park.
saw that. I saw that. I
I
saw
was
that
like,
shit.
what? I was like, no way, dude.
Yeah, I saw that shit. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. He said it would take like 10 or 15 years. The guy.
Yeah, my buddy was like, what could go wrong? Yeah, what could go wrong?
Yeah, right? Like there was a whole fucking movie series about what could go wrong, god
Nah,
damn it.
nah. Everything will be fine.
Where
It'll be
are these
perfectly fine.
bitches? There he is.
I'm just,
Ah,
I'm just getting my exercise on. I'm zigging and zagging down the road so he doesn't shoot me and kill me.
I just want to kill this guy and his horse because they
I
shot
don't
my
even know where
horse.
you're at.
I'm by the Shine Shack.
Oh, wow. You're way over there. Come on, horse. Before this guy kills me. Alright. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What the fuck? Hey, dude. Why did you... what the fuck did he do that for? He literally just got in front of me for no apparent reason. So fucking stupid. Oh, wow. Cut me down going across the bridge there. That's a son's bitch.
Can't see
Did
them.
we
They're
did
fighting
we
that
beat that
booty.
nightmare last night, or we died on the last
We
on
died
the
on the
boss
last
wave?
round. Yeah.
Oh my god, dude, we gotta go back. We gotta go back. That's right. I can't believe that happened to us, man. You see how hard that shit is?
Dude,
I was. This is unreal how hard it is.
I was actually, I was, other than the stupid fucking arrows, I was kind of surprised that it wasn't harder.
Yeah, once you figure out the trick of using the arrows, it does get a lot easier. But
Like,
I'm just wondering how much crazier it will get. Like once you get once you go up in level, because I'm sure that there's probably something more to it we just don't know yet.
I don't know. I don't know, man.
Oh no, man! I don't know how you're gonna play story mode on Nightmare because it's hard as fuck on just gold.
Yeah, word. That's what we should do, actually. We should fucking check that out, because at least
Story mode on Nightmare.
on
We gotta
gold.
beat. We gotta beat all the story missions on whatever mode before we can play it on Nightmare.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I want to fucking. We should fucking hit the story missions and go all gold, because I mean we're both almost
We can
max
do it.
level, so
We can do it.
We could fucking handle it. And I mean, it's always only up to 2 players. So I mean, it's just you and me, bro.
You and me, bro.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'll
now
be
that
the
my Ronin's
fucking.
pretty fucking strong now, I
I'll
think
be
the Ronin would be the guy to go in. I'll set everything up for what we're doing.
the naked assassin
The naked assassin, yeah,
with the
because
loincloth.
assassin will be huge in the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then I might when we start playing survival again, I might start being the hunter.
The hunter's badass. I'm working on it right now, so
Whichever one
we'll,
you do, I'm gonna work on the Ronin or the hunter. And whichever one you are, I'll be the opposite, and I'll just because I got to work on both of them anyway.
all right.
But I'm gonna go pee
We're gonna
and
switch this up.
have a cigarette, and then switch this shiza up.
Sounds good. I'm gonna go ahead and log on out of here, and I'll just go over there, and I'll be waiting on you.
All right, all right. I'll start a cast on that shit too. So,
Okay, cool.
all
All
right.
right. See you in a few.
Yep, yep.